Oh yeah. Fargo premiered earlier this year, marking its first season, and a lot of people were confused because of the similarly themed and exactly the same title of the Coen brothers movies from the mid-90s, also titled Fargo, which both shows feature a true crime, but it's mainly a dark comedy, even though there are a lot of dramatic elements, and they both take place in the Minnesota, North Dakota, that area of the world. If you've seen the movie, you know what to expect. It's not the same characters, it's not the same plot, it's nothing like that. It's just has a very similar feel, atmosphere, and similar themes, but I've seen both the movie and the show, and I can safely say that the show is worlds better than the movie. The story follows several characters, the three chief ones being Billy Bob Thornton's Malvo, Martin Freeman's Lester, and I forget the actress's name, but whoever plays the policewoman, Molly. I don't even want to get much into the plot at all, because even if I say anything, I'd be spoiling even just the pilot episode, because the pilot episode, I gasped because I was so surprised about what happened, and I don't want to give that away. So the pilot episode, by the way, is one of the strongest pilot episodes I've ever seen, maybe even the strongest, but I'm not going to say anything about the plot besides that it is one crime that slowly stems into a series of other crimes. There were several main elements to this show that were mainly kind of thrown into a blender. Chief among them was the very, very dark comedy like people getting shot, stuff like that. There are times when it works really well. There are times when I don't even know if something's supposed to be a joke or not. There are times when I think, that's not even funny. But more often than not, it worked, and it was funny. An interesting thing that this show did is almost every single episode brought up some kind of brain teaser or some kind of philosophical question to kind of make you think, some kind of long story, something like that, and I really looked forward to that, and there were some really interesting ideas brought up every single episode, especially as you got towards the end. As you got more and more closer to the finale, you kind of realized it was more about human nature than about oh, this was a crime. This is more of a thematic show, and I think that worked out really well, and they didn't kind of start out themes, and it's kind of slowly eased the viewer into that. I think that worked a lot better for people who would be interested in that kind of show but don't want to be thinking. Billy Bob Thornton playing Lorne Malvo, if that's his real name, was absolutely amazing. He is one of the best TV performances I've seen. It's easily his best performance of all time, but this is one of the better TV performances of the past few years. He's really, really darkly funny, and he's really, really badass. He does a lot. He's kind of the main villain of the story, and he's really, really good. Martin Freeman as Lester was one of my favorite parts of this show because you really get to see him evolve. He probably undergoes the most change throughout this series. He starts off really, really likable, and then as it goes on, you start to question whether or not you're supposed to be rooting for him. And I really like that the show kind of made you turn it on your head, because at the beginning you feel bad for him, you think he's the hero, then you realize he's really not. Allison Tallman is the actress who plays Molly, the policeman, and really the main hero of the story, and she is excellent. She doesn't have as much to do as Billy Bob Thornton or Martin Freeman as far as acting goes. Most of her role is pretty subdued, but she does it very, very well, and I think that she pulled off a character that could have easily been annoying or really bland, and she actually made you feel for this character who, in other shows of this nature, you probably would have disliked. And finally, Colin Hanks as Gus was also very good. He didn't have much to do at all. There were multiple episodes that he wasn't even in, but he was very good. He was very timid, and it worked out very well. So in the end, if this is a show that you want to watch, you got to know that there are crimes. There's a lot of really, really dark comedy, but more than anything else, this is a philosophical drama, kind of about nature, man, all these different questions. Really great acting. I definitely recommend it. It's only 10 episodes. You could watch it in a week. I definitely recommend you watch it. I give Fargo an A. And I'm not sure if they're going to continue this in the form of a miniseries, because this season is clearly closed off. I'm not sure if they're going True Detective or American Horror Story and having another season with a completely different cast of characters or crimes. I don't care. I'm going to call it Fargo Season 1 and give it an A. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.